This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and almost 10 years in games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation Conversation.
This PlayStation Conversation happens every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Standard Time on YouTube and 8 a.m. on iTunes, Spotify and other podcast services. If you'd like to be a part of future conversations, please join us on Facebook, Discord, comment below. Please stop staring at me. If you're feeling generous, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/popculturists. Head over there. Check out the tiers. Might be something there that interests you. I can just see you just like looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck do you want?
I'm looking waiting for my cue. And if you join us on Patreon, you can watch us record this show live and we kind of give you like 5 minutes notice. Yeah, that's fine.
It's distracting,
It
isn't
is a bit distracting. If you want to show love podcast on your body, hit popculturists.com/shop. You can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. We are also on at Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you can watch us stream games and shit. Like before we started recording, we we're just discussing the idea of a Plague Tale, like the mice game, because I have a fucking
Plague Tale of Innocence, I think.
Plague Tale of Innocence, yeah. Like I've come to learn that I have a mad fear of mice and
it's
rats.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever met a male with that fear.
Well, yeah, it's like it's thing. It wasn't like you know when you have fear, a fear of something, you tend to know about it for like what feels like forever. And yeah,
It's like, do this. I'm scared of that.
yeah, I'm like, I don't like doing that. Well, for me, it was like, yeah, it was a moment
You were
where
just confronted with the mouse and he was like,
that's what happened. So the story is, I was sitting on my couch playing a game. I hear this. I'm like, what the fuck is? And I look over and then just shoots in front of the in my lounge room. So there's the couch on this wall here, right? TV's on this wall. There's like an entryway into like the back half of the house. I see this mouse go fucking rocket from the kitchen through to the back half, and my brain just went boo. And then I had this, like one of my first ever like distinct panic attacks, and my body just went ha. And I like solid like rigor mortis, like fight or flight just became, let's fucking stay there. So I'm just like, guess I live here now.
it's meant to be fight or flight. You're meant to pick one. And I'll just go, I'm alright.
Yeah, so then I was like, Millie, she says, yeah, I'm kind of stuck on the couch. So what do you mean you're stuck on the couch? What did you do? I'm like, I can't seem to move my body. And then that situation, I'm like, I guess I'm scared of mice now.
Fair enough.
Like, very rarely do you get to experience the fear as it happens. Like, it was always you remember from some like child shit.
Interesting.
Very weird.
Maybe you should play this game.
What's I'm thinking, like, because there is the developers of A Plague Tale were like, oh, we can fit like fucking 5,000 mice on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
well, fuck
rats.
like
Biggins.
like fuck all that. I'm gonna play.
Well, I've seen it popping up everywhere. But I was like, okay, it's just another game. But then I saw a trailer that had Sean Bean reading an old poem over the trailer. And I was like, well, Sean Bean, I've got to watch this because I love Sean Bean. Everyone does. And I was like, damn, this looks really fucking good. Like, this trailer really set the tone. It was reviewing really well. It seems to be just at a glance like the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice of this year.
Well, I think that's kind of what it is, because it is in fact like an indie.
Yeah.
So it's like a double A sort of game. Like I think it's from Focus Home. I think. All I know is that like Zach, our good friend from Well Played, I trust him quite highly.
Made by Asobo Studio.
So when he's like, you should play this, I'm like, no.
You can see the trailer here. The rats, there's the rats.
Oh, there's
They're
so many
everywhere.
rats.
So many.
Fuck all the rats, man.
Yeah, no, I do want to pick that up. I do feel like the asking price is maybe a bit too
It's
much.
like $80.
60 on Steam.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
But we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, I might wait till it drops down, and then because I might be able to work my way into it at that point. Like, and then I'll just piss and shit myself. Can't wait.
That's what mice do.
That's what they do. I am the human mice.
I'm sure they can't control their bladders.
No.
I'm pretty sure they just go when they need to go.
And that's probably why I don't like them, because they're fucking gross.
Hence the disease.
Saying that though, when I was at my mother-in-law's recently, they were moving a fridge, and
they live on a farm, don't they? Oh, land.
Yeah. So like saying that too, like the reason we get mice here is because we used to live in what was a giant fucking paddock. So like this paddock, like they are just like, this is where we used to live.
This is where we still live.
This is where we still live now, apparently. So like I have no issue with them arriving. So I'm like, well, I guess I am on your home, but it's my home, motherfucker. Get out. Take that trap.
No.
But
yeah, you say that. It's like, it's my home, motherfucker. And it's like, the fuck do you say? You're like, nothing.
Millie. So yeah, they were moving a fridge, and because they live on out on farmland, and as they moved the fridge, like in the back of the fridge was a perfect fucking mouse skeleton. Like it means that shit has been there for literal years. Like it's clean skelly.
You'd be surprised how often I see it.
Yeah, you would see a lot of dead
because they
mice.
Climb up the outdoor pipes into your indoor unit, and then you take off the cover. It's just full of shit and piss. We've pulled seven dead ones out before, just with pliers. Just 1, 2, all skeletons. 3. Yeah.
Well, how quickly do they turn the mice turn into skellies? Because it seems really fast.
I don't know. I've never seen a decomposing one.
Yeah, me
It's
either.
either alive or it's a skeleton. There's no. But I'd imagine.
Do the other mice eat them?
I'd imagine one dies and maybe the rest of them eat it.
Yeah, I assume so, right?
Yeah. Disgusting creatures.
Fucking gross.
We're doing a PlayStation show.
We are. What have you been doing, man? How you been?
I haven't been playing PlayStation.
No. Well, this is the big news. This has been the ongoing saga of, is Josh going to play WoW again? The answer is yes.
I've been playing the fuck out of it. I've been playing it now. It's August, actually.
August, sorry.
No, the beta came out last week for Classic.
Did you jump in the beta?
No, they're doing it in waves.
Oh, okay.
And then there'll be like the stress test and all that.
Because you need me to, I can talk to Blizzard.
Oh, you can talk to Blizzard.
Well, yeah, well, Australian Blizzard anyway.
No. They're being very exclusive with the first wave.
Oh, exclusive.
All Twitch streamers and all that.
Yeah, all the big guys.
Yeah, but
Yeah, man, when they're ready for D-listers, we'll wait.
Yeah. But no, like...
Because we are less.
Asmongold, who's one of the big WoW content creators, had peaked at like 95,000 viewers streaming Classic with a total of like 50 million views through that. And he's just streaming the first dungeon content for this in Classic. So
Classic's
there's a lot of hype.
So well.
There's a lot of hype for it. I'm excited.
And what's with there's some anniversary edition?
Oh, you can like rebuy the collector's edition from the original.
OG.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing. It's just a collector's edition for Classic WoW.
Are you going to buy it?
No.
Oh.
No. I've given Blizzard many thousands of dollars over the years. I think I've given them enough. The statue's dope though.
Yeah,
it's dope.
So, do you feel that you're ready for Classic?
Yeah.
I was thinking about jumping in it as well because I thought it'd be pretty cool. Because seeing as if you have, although I don't have a subscription currently, because I think mine ended I turned it off ages ago. But it was like that idea of if you've got one, you can do both sort of things. It's not like you have to buy a Classic one and that. And I'd be interested to see how grindy.
If you're subbed, you can play it or retail. There's no separate. They're not separate at all. It's pretty grindy.
Are we talking real bad?
Not real bad, but it's grindy. But the thing is, I got 2 monitors. Just put Netflix or something on. True. No, it's grindy, but if you keep at the same pace, you'll keep running into the same people as you're leveling, and that's how the community builds. People are running, familiar faces and
names that you remember.
Yeah, you spend an hour in a dungeon, so you get to know the people by the end of it. Chuck them on your friends list. You ever need a healer, hit me up. It's where the community comes in.
Are you keen to be involved back in that community?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be a healer. I'll be useful.
Yeah, you'll be a hot demand if you're a healer.
I'm gonna be a healer because leveling a healer in Classic is the ass.
Yeah.
Because you're a healer. So you get 2 damaging abilities, just just fucking die. I'm out of mana. But the payoff is really good, obviously.
Now, are you planning to not repeat the quote-unquote mistakes of last time you played Classic WoW and you were 15 and you had, like, young babies?
No. If anything, I have more time to play now because they're not young babies.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
just go do whatever the fuck 10 and 14-year-olds do for like
Dad's playing
for like 5 days. Just go away. And now I can actually tell them to go away and trust that they're not going to kill themselves by sticking a fork in a socket or something. I'll be playing it a lot.
That's true.
I'll be playing it a lot.
They're very cool.
But like I've always said, I could play it, get to like level 25 and go.
That's all I needed.
Actually, this is not.
Well, because one of those things, it's that tough line of, hey, it's really cool they're returning to what it was, but I'm guaranteed there's some really good like performance. Like, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for?
Quality of life.
Quality of life improvements since then.
Well, there has been, but there's too much at the moment.
Well, no, I'm thinking like, when they say they're going to vanilla WoW, is it like none of the minor? This is like version 1.0 shit.
It's 1.12.
Okay, so
which
there's
has
some improvements.
Some, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some improvement, but there's no like random dungeon finder and anything like that. Like you have to talk to people and form a group and travel to the dungeon. Whereas now you just go, open a menu, queue classic dungeon as a damage dealer. And it goes, your group's ready, I'll teleport you to it, you finish it, teleport out, don't speak to anyone, just get it done. You can get one to max level without leaving a capital city because you just do random dungeons just back to back.
Yeah, that's a good point. That means I was playing it wrong.
What
So I kept playing it like the...
What do you mean?
Like I didn't realize you go beep beep. So I'm going.
Yeah, no, but that's it. You know,
waiting for fucking balloons and shit. Yeah.
But you know, you're in the capital city, and you're like, I need a healer for the group. Everyone, right, ready to go. You travel to the dungeon together. You spend 2 hours with these people, and you're bound to find some cool people. But or I could, play it for 10 hours and go, I actually just don't want to do this.
Are you concerned by playing WoW now? It'll de-interest you by August?
No, it's doing the opposite. Because WoW now is like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an action game. It's like there's always something to press and do, and combat's like non-stop. Yeah, they're different. They may as well be a different game.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's not on PlayStation.
But yeah, have you played any PlayStation this week?
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Okay, exciting.
Played some Hearthstone as well.
Oh, Hearthstone! Wow, you have turned right into the skin.
No, because I got to go to Sydney next week for work training. So I'm just looking for mobile games to play.
Yeah.
Like Hearthstone. Yeah.
Would you still have your Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
You're over it?
Yeah,
Not gonna put anything. Not gonna take the Switch with you?
No.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's why I put the question in Facebook chat the other day. I said, no context, mid-range hunter or shaman murloc.
Oh, for Hearthstone.
What deck am I going to build? Because I have enough
Okay.
resources to build a decent deck. So
Very nice.
anyway, PlayStation.
Yeah, I myself, I've been playing some Rage 2, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I have been dipping my toes into Days Gone some more. That game just doesn't want to fucking end. That game is stupid long.
How long is it?
Apparently it's a good 40 or 50. Just main campaign.
How long to beat Days Gone? Gobe.
The classic Days Gobe.
How long is Days Gone? Main story only, 35 hours.
Yeah, it's fucked.
As an average.
I say fucked because I'm old and I don't have that much time. And although I'm enjoying it, and now we're starting to see a lot more story threads sort of make their way through, and little things of interest, very cool little things. I'm up to a point now where they've just discovered hordes. Well, not just discovered hordes, as in they've come to the understanding that although they're in Oregon, every night there's always more fucking hordes. There's always more freakers everywhere, and they don't know why. But they've come to work out that they are all
Spoilers?
Not spoilers. They're all just seem to be coming from the south, just in hordes. As in, it's all these people from other states, all these creatures from other states.
Are they passing through, or are they drawn to Oregon?
They seem to be drawn to. So the idea is every night there's thousands of them coming through. Because inside of a throwaway sort of Nero moment, like they're at this cave entrance and they've got one of these little like a counter, and they're like, oh, okay, so they're like, there's been like 1,000 come through here. So like the idea is that they all go into these caves at night to sort of during the day to hibernate. No, I didn't.
After that, I did, and I was fucking scared
because
it's like there's 1,000 like use this cave, and I was like, I'm gonna go suss it out.
Was it horrifying?
No, there's nothing in there.
Oh,
it was really disappointing.
Well, yeah. So the idea at the moment is like, you know, with thousands of them going in during the day because they hibernate and then they come out at night. They want to blow up these caves and like at least trap a good hunk of them. So that way, even if they do manage to make their way up over during the day, they don't hibernate. So they're all fucking jacked, and you can just clear them out. And that's where I'm at right now. So I've discovered 1, 2, 3 camps. I know there's another one somewhere that I haven't seen yet. Like, it's fun. I'm enjoying it, and my bike is now purple. Like, the first thing I did when I got to the third camp, they're like, you want to change your bike? Yep, purple.
You can do that at the first camp.
Fuck, what?
The guy that accidentally scrapped your bike at
the
start.
He only has like 2 colours.
No, as you you've just unlocked them all.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was shared between them. Maybe it's not. I changed
because I have found that different camps, they have different weapons they sell you, and they have different motorbike upgrades that they can sell you. So, like, although that Copeland's camp, one of the first ones you find, has assortment, like a small range, you go to Iron Mike's, and then there's a bunch more. Like, there's still like 3 tiers, but then there's like a 4th tier or something like that, which is pretty sweet. So my bike's doing all right, pretty fun. Deacon's getting a little bit more interesting. Boozer's not doing well.
He's been doing well since you start the game.
Yeah. He's around. Looking well. But yeah, no, it's all right. On top of that, what else have I been playing? I've been playing at work. So SMG, the studio behind Death Squared, they released a new game on the Switch recently called OTTTD, or Over the Top Tower Defense.
Right.
And it's this cool little tower defense game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. In case you weren't sure. And the game's dope. We were playing it yesterday at work. We had it on the projector on the wall, and I'm like, I'm not normally a big tower defense guy. The more I'm playing it, I'm like, this game is really good. So I was playing with one of the guys who's part of our skills building program. So he's learning how to sort of, hone his voice by doing reviews and whatnot. Yeah, and even he's like, I don't even fucking like these games. This is really good. Like, cool. All right, sick.
Good studio then.
Yeah, no, SMG are brilliant, and like because they've. We reached out to them a while back when we discovered that Death Squared was this brilliant game for us. And so when I reached out to them back in the day and said, hey, we're not asking for anything. This is just letting you know that your game has done something fucking tremendous. And then they put out on Twitter. So Ash, who's the sort of the community, the PR community guy there, was just like, hey, anyone want to jump on this new secret game we've got? I'm like, yeah, man, if you think it works for Gen New Game and Whippers 1, if you don't, that's fine. Thanks anyway. He goes, yeah, give it a red hot go. Here you go, Bush.
Nice.
Been good fun.
Good bloke.
But good guy. A good team over there. Other than that, no, I was waiting for Bartender VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out yesterday, I think. Well, I know it came out yesterday in the US. I don't know if it's on the Australian store yet. And I do have another game that I'll be testing out this weekend, but is currently redacted.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I know you know. I'm pretty sure I told you.
Did you?
Yeah. It's a VR game.
Oh, in the Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Get hyped for that coverage.
Woo!
Exclusive.
But also not really. Hashtag hype train. Yeah, so I'll be giving that a red hot go. So I've played some more this week, which is all well and good. I like playing more games. But that's enough of the things. Let's dive into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what PlayStation shit happened this week.
We've been recording for an unnecessary amount of time.
Saying that, though, there is a big hunk of that is I was just bullshitting back.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's been recording when it didn't really need to.
Yeah, I was just super lazy.
Number 1, Sony and Microsoft announced a partnership to focus on improving cloud gaming, AI solutions, and more. The two tech giants signed a memorandum of understanding that established both companies will explore, quote, joint development of future cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure to support their respective game and content streaming services. They will also explore the use of Microsoft Azure data center-based solutions for Sony's game and content streaming services, noting that these efforts will include building better development platforms for the content creator community. The partnership will also explore the collaboration in areas of semiconductors and AI. The company intends to integrate Sony's image sensors with Microsoft's Azure AI tech across cloud and edge, and leveraging Sony's semiconductors and Microsoft cloud technology. Now, I don't know what any of that means, but it seems important.
A lot of it is big picture shit.
Yeah.
By the sounds of it, from what you've said to me just there, that is all big picture shit. So everyone's like, what does this mean for the next generation?
Oh, no, it's nothing to do with
Nothing.
cross-platform gaming.
Not even a little
Nothing
bit.
to do with that.
All it is,
they're sharing tech.
Yeah, which companies do. It's like the idea of like, hey, I've got tech, although I have the patent on it, let's share it. Like, let's create. By doing so, they'll create a better platform. I think so. On the benefit of this, like by the cloud share stuff and streaming stuff. So that is Sony and Microsoft sharing knowledge on Games Pass and how that's going to help PlayStation Now. If you want to look at it in terms of direct gaming console shit,
It's like I give you, you give me.
yeah.
So instead of, if Sony wants to test this thing, and they're like, well, then we have to develop it to test it. And Microsoft's like, hey, we have one. Test it on ours. If you let us test this on yours. Let's give a little, get a little.
Yeah, so like I don't think this isn't some revolutionary thing.
No.
But
But it was nice to see Shuhei
it's
and the
still
Microsoft
cool.
guy shaking hands.
That was
in the
not.
picture.
That was
Oh,
not
Shuhei.
Shuhei. Wasn't even Kaz. It's the guy that runs it now, whose name I've completely
Yeah, I forgot
blanked
his
out
name.
on.
It was nice to see the two head honchos.
Yeah, the
shaking
big two
hands.
head honchos. Yeah. So like, I don't think we'll see. Like, we as the consumer base will see
Probably
anything
nothing.
very specific just yet. I guess the image sensors and stuff is because like the PlayStation camera is a little bit better than like the Kinect was. So it's just sort of like, well, how do you use your PlayStation camera for VR? So we at Microsoft, if we want to use VR technology in the future, can we use some of that?
I'm just picturing like field trips, like a memo goes out to Sony staff. It's like, on the blah blah blah. Neat dressed casual, bring a packed lunch, jump on the bus. We'll head over to Microsoft and we'll spend the day with their team. And then 2 weeks later, the Microsoft team's coming today. Make sure you're all in uniform and presentable. Yeah. It's nice.
It's cool.
It's cool.
I
don't know what it means, but it's cool.
It's the same idea of like Google giving out shit to people to use and stuff. Yeah. So
Number 2, Skull and Bones, the open world pirate adventure Ubisoft first showed at E3 2017, won't launch until the spring of 2020 at the earliest, and won't be shown at this year's E3 Expo. Wow, that's the second such year-long delay for the game in the past year. The news came out during the publisher's call with investors, in which Ubisoft discussed publishing plans going forward. Skull and Bones will now be launching after the fiscal year, which ends March 2020. The official Twitter account for Skull and Bones yesterday acknowledged the delay and the game's absence from E3 2019 in a short video showing development of the game. Quote, "This is challenging news for all of us, but what's needed to make Skull and Bones as awesome as it can be." I forgot this game existed.
Me too. I can't believe it was 2017.
This game's delayed. What was that again? I watched the trailer. I was like, actually, this was the game that looked really cool.
Yeah, when you say Skull and Bones, I'm like, wasn't it the Pokemon game? Like, is there? I mean, like in that 1 year, they were like, "Here's Sea of Thieves." Like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Here's Skull and Bones.
That looks better.
That looks way better
in every way.
It's that weird thing where I kind of forgot that it existed. Okay, what do you think? There's an additional because that's 2 years of delay.
But I think that's good.
It all comes
instead
down
of just being like, let's just get it out and do the updates as everyone does. They're
can either go two ways.
They're recognizing that like, hey, this really isn't shaping up how we want it to be.
Yeah.
Let's hold it, which obviously costs them millions of dollars to do. But they obviously have faith that it can be something great, and they're willing to put in the time and the money.
Or they announced it too early, and they're realizing they announced it too early.
Yeah, or that.
That's the other option.
This game's much bigger than we thought.
Yeah, like because they haven't mentioned that the scope of the world or anything like that.
No.
Who knows? But speaking of other games that may not be coming out soon, but also maybe.
Nice. While still unclear how far away The Last of Us Part 2's release is, the game co-director has indicated Naughty Dog is hiring new talent to help close out development. Posted by co-director Anthony Newman on Twitter, he wrote, "A lot of awesome positions open to help us close out this game. I especially want to highlight the melee animator position. While Newman's phrasing isn't entirely concrete, it appears Naughty Dog is hiring this talent for the final stretch of the game in order to close out development. If new talent is coming in, that likely means there's still quite a bit of work left on the game. But if this is in the later stages of development, that means the team has certainly completed much of the game's production."
Not coming out this year.
No fucking way.
Like,
No chance.
ideally,
We've known that
but it's
they've been
fucking
close.
May.
Yeah.
It's actually, you know what? It's like the end of May. It's June. Like, they're going to have someone come in for a 6-month contract.
I mean, they could.
They could,
For sure.
but like, I would say it's a year. I don't think we see this until at least mid next year. At least.
Probably have the God of War slot. April.
Yeah.
That
At
way.
earliest. At absolute earliest.
Yeah, just an update on The Last of Us, which seems to happen every week now.
Which is nice. I like the updates, but there was a lot of quiet time there. So do you think the fact that we're getting updates indicates like they want you to get it back in the zeitgeist?
No, I think it's more they're like, we need to advertise for some people, which the news is going to spin. So we just need to put out a statement.
Because if we put out this statement, it'll prevent
the
the
news will be
speculation.
like, "Oh, Naughty Dog are hiring for The Last of Us 2. Troubled development? ? Like, no, we're finishing up. We just need a few extra minds to just tie it in.
Yeah, because that's that weird situation. Yeah, because like with the hype train, everyone's like speculating it's coming out this year and that sort of shit. And they're like, yeah, if you're hiring now, what fucking hot mess is this? It's like, no, it's chill.
I think they just put out the statement as a necessity because they were hiring.
Yeah, and because it's one of those things that as PlayStation as a company is facing right now, the longer you stay quiet, the more room it gives people to make shit up.
Yeah. Fuck the internet. Number 4, Labor, an Australian political party. For those of you not.
As today, the Saturday we're recording is the voting day. So for everyone that isn't voting Labor, you can go vote tomorrow.
Labor has announced plans to inject $85 million into Australia's creative industries if elected in the weekend's election, including $25 million to reinstate the Australian Interactive Games Fund that was axed by the Abbott government back in 2014. Abbott. Quote, our creative industries have huge potential to deliver significant economic, employment, creative, cultural and other benefits for Australia and the world, the party said in a statement. It's like the party. It's like all these... all these old guys in suits dancing, all saying that in unison.
I'll do some party music while you read that last bit. Ready?
Okay. But there are worrying signs that our local sectors are missing out on global expansion.
Hey, 2-1 shots! Woo!
In the creative industries, which are projected to grow exponentially. That's cool.
I'm down.
That's fine. That's enough to swing someone to vote a gamer to vote Labor.
Yeah, and it's one of like it's a weird,
But the problem with Australian politics is like, well, any politics, I guess, like you say you're going to do it, and then it's never mentioned again.
True. It is it's a very interesting thing for them to want to hang their hat on. I'm down with it because obviously the Liberal government have no interest in doing so. We're going to get a little bit political for a second.
Sure.
But it's cool. Like the biggest problem that Australia has right now, especially within that gaming space, is there used to be a good hunk of studios here. Like in Sydney, there was 2K Australia is a big example. Rockstar had, I think they had something here as well because they did like LA Noire out of here. You obviously got pre-sequel with Borderlands. There are tons of independent developers out of Melbourne. Like Melbourne is bonkers for its amount of indies, but they're all working on state funding. Like we're not talking national funding here. This is state funding. This is a Creative Victoria initiative here.
Yeah.
And it's also connected with like Film
Wasn't
Victoria
it like $2 million
sort of
or
stuff.
something?
Yeah, it's something gnarly. Like there's a lot of money, but there's not a lot of money. Like you're not going to get any good not even triple
Like
A
the
level
$25
games.
million for the Australian Interactive Games Fund would not be a game from a AAA studio.
It's funding little guys.
Yeah.
Like it'll help, it'll be used to help fund games which probably you'd like to think uniquely Australian, like AFL Evolution and fucking The Ashes. Like
Fallout Australia.
V8 Supercars.
It could happen.
Other Australian shit.
Fallout Australia.
It could totally happen. Like it's just helping.
I feel like Fallout Australia would just be...
It'd be Rage.
Yeah. Mad
Because
Max.
Rage 2, like, we'll get to Rage in a minute, but like Australia has so much just fucking nothing. It's really
Unless you're on the coast.
It's really well built on the coasts. But
Like if you wanted to go from Melbourne to Brisbane in car, you'd have a really pleasant time. You'd have a nice drive, lots to see. If you wanted to go from Melbourne to Darwin or Perth, fuck
Sydney
that.
to Perth, balls.
Apparently there's a train that does it.
Yeah, it's like the Great Khan or something.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sounds nice. But yeah, so this is an absolute bonus. It's very, very cool. One of those things I'd like to see where it comes through.
I will be keeping a close eye on it if they do get voted in, if they actually do.
Yeah, same here. Maybe
I'll be a spokesperson. It's like, hey, in the election 2019, you said... So get that man out of here.
Like,
Wait.
I'm like, did he even vote?
Freedom of press.
Well, you said, yeah.
Unhand me, scum.
I went and put my votes down this morning. Side note, there are so many just garbage parties on that fucking ballot letter, by the way. There is like 24, like, I'm exaggerating. There's like 24 fucking parties on that thing. And like, as someone that's center left leaning in terms of where my political stance is, there is so many like just right and just the spectrum of it's like, hey, here's like 4 parties that kind of sit in the center, and there's obviously, you know, like the Greens, they're pretty left, and then it's like everybody else is on the right. Like the Australian Health Party, oh, that sounds really good. We're anti-vaxxers. Oh, fuck. All right. It's like, we're about the blue collar worker. We hate immigration. Oh, fuck.
One Nation, oh, they're racist.
Yeah, they're really racist. Oh. It's like, you know,
if I vote One Nation, I would get deported. Get out of here, you fucking Jew. Not again. This happened 70 years ago.
And all those, like, you know, Clive Palmer's United Party, like, well, he made memes in a game. He's really fucking racist.
Like, he steals intellectual property.
He steals intellectual property. He's going to make a Titanic 2, not a selling point. He wants to make a real life Jurassic Park, not a selling point. You know, he owes absolute millions to employees. Oh, that's a problem. Like, everyone's a hot mess. And there are some slightly less hot mess.
But so are the main two. Really.
Oh, yeah, no, everyone's shit.
Because whoever actually gets voted in a year and a half, it'll be someone else.
Yeah, we are a two-party preferred country. There are a bunch of independents or sort of like second tiers, and it all comes down.
Now, what I mean is no one gets to full term anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true.
When's the last time someone went full term?
Fucking John Howard, I think.
Yeah. Was it Mark Latham? No.
No, it wasn't.
It was Rudd, Julia Gillard, Tony
Rudd again.
Abbott. Rudd, you know, that just...
Yeah. There's a lot of that backstabbing going on in that short period of time, and it's very disgusting.
Makes me sick.
You know, it happened just recently. Like, that's why Scott Morrison, in case you may have forgotten, is our current Prime Minister. I forgot. And then, someone's like, who's your Prime Minister? I'm like, I think it was Malcolm Turnbull. Like, that was 8 months ago. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Who is it now? Like, Scott Morrison. I'm like, oh, ScoMo. Oh, yeah, gross.
It's like you hear the voice on the radio and you're like, I don't know who that is. That's your Prime Minister. At the moment.
But this is how fucked it is on those numbers I was like, you know, we get personal to my voting preferences here. Like, you know, as I said, being centre left, like Labour, Greens, that's sort of where I put my preferences. And then the rest is so dumpster. I'm like, Liberal third. Just like I have to. Normally there's like at least some minor Philly parties there. You can go and be like, I'll put you in there, and I'll put Leo.
Draw a giant.
Put Liberal down a little bit longer, and it's like, no, everyone else is the
most
super
pressing
shit.
question is though, do you go to Snag?
No.
What?
Dude, the place I go to never has democracy sausage.
Why do you go there?
As far as I know, the democracy sausage is a fucking lie. I've never seen one in person.
Wow. That's disappointing.
But I also don't want to walk up to the ballot book and be like, hi. And I'm like, where's the sauce?
Yeah.
Show me your sauce.
That is your right as an Australian voter.
Where's my sauce?
That's why I'm here. I don't give a fuck who I vote for. Just where's the sausage?
It was fun. So like we went with my wife and I and our kid. So Mom Millie went and voted. I'm holding on to James. He's like, there's a slide. I want to play on the slide. Like, this is why I have to hold. This is why we couldn't vote at the same time. He's like, slide. Like, fuck, dude. He's climbing. He's like, slide. It's like he's got his priorities right.
Hear his footsteps. You get like mouse PTSD. Ryan, go catch him. I can't.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck here.
Top selling games for the week ending last week, starting at number 10, Red Dead 2, number 9, FIFA 19, number 8, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, number 7, Black Ops 4, number 6, Spider-Man, number 5, GTA 5, number 4, Division 2, number 3, Fallout 76, number 2, Mortal Kombat 11, number 1, Days Gone.
Third week in a row, Days Gone has been number 1.
Division 2's Raid came out.
Oh, I got an email about that. I was going to send it to you, but I forgot.
It doesn't have matchmaking.
Wait, what? So you get randomly thrown in with people?
No, you can't matchmake. You have to actually go somewhere like online and put a group together manually. You can't just go, I want to do the raid. Because it's made so, there's stuff you got to do and you need comms, you need to talk to each other.
Okay, so by putting this extra barrier in, they're like, look, you need to be a team here.
At least initially, when the raids, no one really knows what's going on. PC beat it in like 5 hours,
Nice.
I think, like world first. Console hasn't beaten it yet.
Yeah.
Which is causing a bit of a rift because obviously the accuracy of mouse and keyboard makes PC easier.
Yeah.
And even the best team on console can't get it done.
Shit.
Just because of just the differences between the platforms. That's interesting.
That's concerning.
Interesting point.
I was really wanting to dive back into Division, and then these Days Gone, which we still have to review, which will probably happen hopefully in the next year, and then Rage 2, and then a redacted game. Like, I just want to play. I don't play Division, but the problem is like, who would I play with? I played with Paul, and that's about it. Like I know Jono's got the platinum, so he's done. Like everyone that I know is kind of done with it. I'm like, but I want to keep playing it, and you're playing on Xbox.
Alex is now.
Yeah.
Quick bits. Ubisoft is still planning 4 AAA releases through March 2020, even with the delay of Skull and Bones. We know of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The other 3, unconfirmed.
Some dude just read and was like on Twitter, hey,
Splinter Cell.
I've been working on Splinter Cell.
Yeah,
deleted.
And Ubisoft are like, Julian, he loves to joke, Julian.
Stop, Julian.
Julian's fucking fired.
Then next tweet, I was working.
But now that they fired me, my NDA is void. So here's all the information.
Yeah, here's the dates.
So there'll be probably an Assassin's Creed remaster in there somewhere.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 3.
Maybe. Don't care if they do.
Yeah, I reckon. Put Watch Dogs 3 in there. Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell. There it is. Tick, tick, tick.
And Dauntless is officially releasing on May 21.
Fuck is Dauntless?
Free-to-play Monster Hunter, basically.
Oh, sick.
It's a free-to-play game in the same vein as Monster Hunter. Yeah.
Very nice.
I played it for a bit. It's good.
All right.
Yeah, it's free. So that's why it's worth mentioning.
Well, because I also got this is why I asked you this morning. Because I got an email like, "Hey, the Code Vein network test is up and running soon. You want to code?" And you because I think you were super psyched on Code Vein at one point.
I was.
And then you played Sekiro, and then you're like, "Well, I can't do this."
You
never finishing Sekiro?
No.
You just
I
stopped.
didn't even get past second boss.
But
I didn't get past second boss.
Isn't the big snake one of the bosses?
Yeah, later.
Oh.
That's just like an introduction to the snake.
Oh, okay. I thought you fought a snake.
No, that's not a boss. No, I haven't fought it yet. I just know though I'm never gonna get anything out of those games. So no.
Brutal.
It's pointless. You have to review this. I can't play it. I can't play it.
Oh, that is one of the biggest concerns. Like when it's like, how would you review this? I'm like, I don't know.
I can review
Hence why we didn't.
up to the first boss because I can't beat it.
Like the beginning of the game's pretty good.
Well, maybe it's not as difficult as the rest of them. It's just I'm out of that style.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done.
Well, yeah, we just don't have that patience anymore.
Yeah. That's it for the news, Ryan. If you have a chat to the players about your time with Rage 2.
Yeah, so Rage 2 is the latest game from Bethesda Studios. This is Bethesda Publishing, not Bethesda Softworks. It is a collaboration between id and Avalanche. Avalanche known best for its Mad Max games and Just Cause, and id, of course, being the creators of Doom. It is a post-apocalyptic title.
I thought you said Pokemon.
It is a Pokemon title. You play the character of Walker. You are a ranger.
Holy shit. It's not set in Texas.
No, it is not. It's set in the middle of fuck knows where. And in terms of the actual story at this point, the whole big goal is there's a guy named something Cross. I guess because Rage, he's mad, he's cross. And you got to go kill him. And then everything is just up until that point.
Cool.
I am about 5-6 hours in. So originally I did play it for about 2 hours on stream, and then I realized I listened to absolutely nothing because Dylan and I were just fucking around the whole time. So I don't remember any of this. So like, what's the story? I'm like, I couldn't tell you. So then I decided to just start it again, and I managed to achieve what we did in that 2 hours in about 45 minutes.
Fair.
So I was like, cool, and then I'm back on board. So what we'll do is like we normally do. If one person plays, the other person hasn't, I'll let the other person bombard the person with questions, and they fill in the gaps.
Is it fun?
Yes.
Moment to moment.
No.
Elaborate.
So the game.
I've read a couple reviews and stuff, so I kind of know the.
So the game is very fun when you're in combat, like because as we've mentioned previously, it really feels like id just gave them the Doom shooting mechanics.
Just reskin everything.
Yeah, here it is. Here's the base systems of Doom. This is where the fun is. This is where it's awesome. So when you're in gun combat, it's fucking dope. And then you add the sort of augmentations on top of that, like, you know, big power blast, double jumps, like fucking shooting people with shit. Like, that part feels brilliant. So when you're clearing out a base, it's fight. It's fast, it's fight, it's fun, it's awesome, right?
Then you clear out the base.
It's like, all right.
And then what?
And then you have to drive through fucking nothing to some point in the distance.
And do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So shooting good, open world, meh.
Yeah. The open world is very much meh. Like,
is it alive?
no. As of right now, I'm finding a whole bunch of nothing. Like there's big location to big location. There are smaller locations throughout, and like they're all right. You know, it's fine. But the one thing that was kind of fun is, you know, throughout you'll find like a very small convoy, kind of like Mad Max Fury Roadie, and it's fun to like
Car combat.
Car combat. Because, you know, one of the big things about Mad Max was the car combat. And, like, the car kind of handles like ass, but it's enough. It's fine. Yeah, the town-to-town shit is a little bit poo. And because of the disjointed nature of the open world, as you can sort of go wherever you want, do whatever you want, the story does seem a little incohesive because of that. It's one of those things that I really don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Because you're the good guy.
Correct.
At the moment.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That didn't mean anything.
Yeah. So, like, I'm going around and I'm like, oh, obviously the Rangers are someone of note. And, you know, like, you know, whatever.
You're the elite fighter.
Yeah. So.
But it's not like, you know, let's just use Fallout for an example. You know, you do your traveling and you get to this town and you walk in and you're like, wow, there's people everywhere. It's a bustling marketplace.
There's like 6 people.
Everyone's, you know, got a conversation going on. It's alive. No?
No.
Ah.
It feels Borderlandsy in the idea of the mission-to-mission structure, which is fine. People like that in Borderlands, but because it doesn't have that, you know, humor behind it, like there is humor there, but it's not brilliant.
Is the voice acting good though?
Voice acting's fine.
Okay.
There's no
we got another fine game here.
Is another fine game here.
Yeah.
As it like the gunplay part, dope, and everything else is kind of meh.
Oh, that's a shame. The like, what extent can you augment things? Like, is it a skill tree? Or is it just pick?
So so the way it sort of works is you go and locate these things called arcs. So they're essentially big, like, fucking mini little spaceshipy things. You go in there, you jam your hand in a hole, and then it goes.
Like him.
Yeah. And you jam your hand in a hole, and then it goes whoop, and then it updates you with some new fucking skill. But one thing that
sorry, is it you get skills at certain places, not you get something to pick a skill you
Yes,
want?
you get so certain locations give you certain skills. Right. So there's no like, hey, you've chucked your hand in a hole, which one do you want? No, none of that. You have to go to a certain place and certain things do what. That part's kind of fun. One thing I do like, which I know many people have sort of shit on it for, is when you do unlock a new skill, it throws you in this almost like an augmented reality tutorial level where it goes, hey,
it teleports you out.
No,
from where you are, it puts you somewhere else to do this.
No, yeah. So it kind of you're still in that location, but it goes to like a tutorial moment where it's like, here's you learn how to do your fucking ground pound.
Yeah,
and
but out of where you are at that moment.
Yes.
Oh.
So you put your hand in, and it goes, beep, 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 and then it's almost like your brain is elsewhere, and you go to that, and you come back, and your hand's still in the hole, and you.
Traditionally, like, you get a new skill, and the next part of the game is based on learning to use that skill.
And that happens, like, when you do, like, an example, when I got the ground pound, when you leave that building, there's just like the enemies are just kind of sitting unnecessarily in little groups, just so you can go and pound down on them.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So like there is a little bit of that, but it also gives you...
When you said that, because I've got Metacritic up and the trailer was playing, it did the ground pound.
But on top of that, they do also have that little tutorial, which I think is cool. It hasn't worn on me yet, because like it's one of those things with the gunplay being as dope as it is. If I didn't get shown how to use the augments, I probably wouldn't use them.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just looking at it now. It doesn't seem quite as pink as I initially thought it was going.
No, so the beginning of the game is very grey. It looked presumably what the first one looked like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first one was very just traditional apocalyptic.
Yeah, so the big difference here is like the game starts, it's very vague, it's very brown, very dark, very poo. So when you do happen to transition to the open world, it's then very colourful. Okay, it's nowhere near as colourful as you'd expect. Like comparatively, like Far Cry New Dawn was way more colourful.
Okay, is it pretty though?
It's fine.
Oh.
Like I said, the difference here in...
Just because I haven't... So, like, the way I do things now is I watch the first trailer, and then, you know, and I'm just watching this trailer auto-playing here, and it looks fucking crazy.
Yeah. They're very...
Are they picking...
They very, very well-picked things. But saying that, though, like, there could be some big shit that I haven't just happened and I've seen yet,
I don't guarantee being 5 hours in.
Yeah. Because this is first impression. This is certainly not a final review. Ideally, we'll come back in a couple of weeks and be like, yeah, this was right. So they do feel like they're sort of the pick and the big things. What was I saying before that?
How's it look?
Oh, yeah. So I'm playing on PS4 Pro, as I always do. The big difference here is that they haven't tried to do the upscaling to 4K. They're like, nope, it runs at 1080, but when you're on PS4 Pro, it runs at 60. And yeah, it runs at 60. Like I've not felt any major like dips or anything. It seems to run really quite smooth, and having that speed in the same way that playing Doom, like that smoothness is really beneficial.
Wasn't Doom 30 on base PlayStation?
I believe so, yeah.
I played it on Switch, which was 15
at best. Yeah, it's like it feels really tight, and like as in like that, it's very fluid in that. So you can real duck and weave sort of stuff, and it's that part's very fun.
Are the guns interesting, or is just the gunplay good?
The gun, like there is only a handful of guns. It's not like Borderlands and it's like 18 different guns. Yeah. Like it's you pretty much have, I think it's like 8 or 10 guns that is sort of standard, and you unlock them in arcs as well, right? Throughout the world. So
they like upgradable with like
they're totally
cool
upgradable
abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
so you can add cool things and increase certain powers to them, which is fun.
This one shoots plasma now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. And one of the things that, as specific to the shotgun, which is one of the guns I found early on, there are 2 ways you can shoot it. Obviously, down the barrel, like down the sights, or just from the hip. And the best thing about it is they're actually different shots.
What do you mean?
So from the hip, it's a bigger blast.
Okay.
So if you rather than just adding more accuracy, if you go to down the sights, it actually punches that slug together and just like it pelts that person. So it becomes, rather than being a spray shot, it becomes a more centralized fucking wreck. So like, although if you were in a crowd of people and you did a single shot, you'd blow out the person in the middle. If you did it from the hip, it would just blow out everybody. Yeah. So, normally, because like out of habit, you want to go down
more
that
single
sight.
target damage.
Yeah. So out of habit, you want to go down the sight, but then you're like, well, that situation, like, do I just shoot from the hip? Very cool. That part I like that a lot.
Do you level up and stuff, or is it you just upgrade your guns and abilities?
You just upgrade your stuff. You don't have a level per se. You do have like it's almost like a faction leveling system. So that I think there's 3 or 4 factions, and how your actions will help those, depending on where you do it, will help those factions.
Fair enough. I don't have much more to ask, really. What we covered combat, abilities, environment, story, disjointed.
Stories, yeah, it's that open world problem.
Do you think this would have benefited from being a more linear style game?
I'd say
just with your experience so far, obviously.
I'd say so, because it's one of those things. It's like, open world Doom. That sounds awesome. It's not that awesome.
No. If Doom was open world, it would have been shit, really.
Yeah. Because
the thing with how Doom is designed is it's designed in a very specific way to keep that action going at that pace, like non-stop. And it can really control what's happening.
Yeah, because
and
they're
what's coming
small
at you.
arenas. Like
Yeah.
you have that advantage of like the open world is the detriment to this game. When you're in those little encounters, when you're in those little arenas per se, that's when shit's cool. One thing I do like though, in terms of just a little mild imagery, is because these guys are the goon squad. They are treated as goons, as in they'll just like fucking rock up and there's 100 of them and you just murder them. Like that's kind of on the nose in a good way.
Yeah.
So the big main enemy. There are also like mutant enemies as well. There's a couple of different part of those factions. There's different enemy types.
That look cool.
As well. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
We got another fine game.
Yeah.
Everybody, another fine game.
Like I said, I'm certainly enjoying it. Like, what is it? Once again, in the moment, like when you're in the combat, shit's fucking real cool. Everything else is a good A-okay.
Fair enough.
Let us know what you think of The Rage 2. I did reach out to the peoples in the PopC community, see if they've had any thoughts.
And they haven't.
No, they mentioned about the first Doom. Not first Doom, first Rage. So that's helpful.
Oh.
But also not helpful now. Nope, that's it.
Okay.
So let us know what you think of Rage 2 in those comments below. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I have, if not hopefully more. That'd be really, very cool. But that game has been, it's come out. There's always more games coming out. This is a section we dive into called Coming. So the players we tell you what games coming out this week.
New PlayStation games for May 21st, 2019. Alternate Jake Hunter, Dauntless, The Awakening of Golden Jazz.
Alternate Jack. What about regular Jack?
I don't know. PS4 Digital. The title's got me intrigued. A new chapter begins in the Detective Jinguji Saburo series. 1 month ago today, someone murdered... don't care. American Fugitive, PS4 Digital. Back in 1995. PS4, PS5 Digital Crossfire. This has some fanfare.
6.
This has some fanfare. A throwback to the survival horror mystery games of the mid-90s, 32-bit generation, back in 1995, faithfully recreates everything from this all-but-forgotten era of games. Explore a sparse cityscape in the year 1995, littered with clues about the past. Uncover the mystery of yourself, your daughter, and what happened to the city. That could be interesting, everybody. Dauntless, PS4 Digital. That's the Monster Hunter type game I mentioned. Dollhouse, PS4 Digital and Retail. Dragon Fantasy Volumes of Westeria, PS4 Digital. Hey, it's me with a red beard. Everybody's Golf VR.
Woo!
PS4 Digital and Retail. I'm not going to read it because it is literally Everybody's Golf in VR. I know you're excited for that.
Always.
Killing Floor double feature, PS4, PSVR, digital and retail. The Last Door complete edition, PS4 digital. Observation, PS4
So Observation was that
digital.
cool one that they showed at the last fucking State of Play. The first one. You know where you're watching the space?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Observation is a sci-fi thriller uncovering what happened to Dr. Emma Fisher and the crew of her mission through the lens of the station's artificial intelligence system, SAM. Players assume the role of Sam by operating the station's control systems, cameras, and tools to assist Emma in discovering what is happening to the station, the vanished crew, and Sam himself. Funny that they gave the AI agenda. It's interesting. Scally Celeste, PS4 digital. Nothing to do with Celeste, the actual good game. Slay the Spire, PS4 digital. Yes.
What's Slay the Spire?
Slay the Spire is an energetic fusion of card games and roguelikes.
Oh,
Choose
you
your
would, you
cards
dork.
wisely, craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures, discover relics of immense power, make your way up the ever-changing spire. So you get a base deck, and then as you beat enemies with that deck, you get to add cards to your deck and try to get as high as you can with the deck you're making. Yes. All over that.
Jump on that bad boy?
Fucking oath. Team Sonic Racing, PS4 digital and retail.
No.
Virtual reality.
Oh.
PSVR digital. What's this about? Put on VR headsets in VR.
Put on VR. Not put on a.
Put on VR headsets in VR to dive into nested worlds and escape your AI manager Chaz.
Not Chaz.
Activitude, the virtual labor system, assures you that your... This is really hard to read. Assures you that your artisanal human companionship is still highly valued by our AI clients, even if their requests seem eclectic. Feeling destructive, vacuum away realities with your Activitude brand Poly Clean Up tool. Ryan, what is that game?
Seems like a real bad Google Translate.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think it's virtual reality so you're in virtual reality.
I get it.
And then you put virtual
Yeah.
yeah. So in the same way like Superhot did, and I think the game from the guys made Rick and Morty. Apparently you can do VR and VR in that game.
That was just really hard to read.
Yeah, that was broken.
Really
That was real
hard to
broken.
read. Slay the Spire is obviously the top pick there.
Yeah, everybody's golf if you like VR.
Let's not forget
Oh,
alternate Jake Hunter, Dauntless, The Awakening of Golden Jazz. Let's not forget that.
yeah. There's not much else going on there, is there?
No. Good. Quieten down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not.
That PlayStation conversation happened on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Standard Time on YouTube and 8 a.m. on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast services. If you'd like to be a part of future conversations, please join us on Facebook, Discord, comment below. If you're feeling generous, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/popculturists. Head over there, check out the tiers. Might be something there that interests you.
If you do join us on Patreon, you can watch us record this show live. When we kind of tell you like 5 minutes beforehand. If you want to show the Pop Culturists on your body, head to popculturists.com/shop. We can buy shirts like this and other assorted shit with our logos on it. We are also on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you may be able to see me shit my pants while playing some mouse game. And if you are on those podcast services, why don't you go out there, give us a some review, man, while you're there, go download The Young and the Wrestlers, the PopC wrestling show hosted by Jem and myself. It's a good time speaking of wrestling.
Tell her to stop messing with my mic.
Yeah.
It's your own.
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling,
I'm kidding.
myself, Jem, and Liam, we're off to see Melbourne City Wrestling this evening.
Oh, is Jem going tonight too?
Yeah, Jem's coming too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I know.
so you get to meet Jem.
Yeah.
You are really short.
Apparently shorter than me.
Yeah.
I can make short jokes until she puts her heels on. It's like, damn it.
But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And that was For the Players.
I need heels, right?
You need heels. You do need heels. One of the good news is that they're gonna make your butt like very perk. Isn't that what heels do?
What?
Like, isn't that when you wear heels? Because if you just wear like flat tops, as in like you just add height to all over your heel. Yeah. But the actual design of high heels is to make your butthole, not your butthole, your butt higher and perkier.
After this, I'll stand up, take off my pants, stand with me, check out my butt and my shape, and then I'll get on my tippy toes and tell me if it looks any better.
All right, give us a go. All right. See you then.
Bye, everyone.
For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturists. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: Damien Holdies, Hakim NPC, Lee Wintershoven, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.